Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about musical theatre etiquette. These are situations that have occurred recently and I feel like I would like to address them to you all as a performer and as an audience member. Number one, turning up late for a show. Like, why? You're paying like, what, £50, £70 for a show and you turn up late? So I recently went to see Kinky Boots. Great show, can I just add. But I sat in the stalls, near the back, stage right, just a bit off centre. And 15 minutes into the show, I get this torch shining in my face. And I'm like, what is happening? And it was the front of house staff looking at the letters of where people are gonna sit because they turned up late. I was not happy about this, and the fact that the row that they were sitting on was directly in front of me, so I couldn't see the show because they had to walk past the aisle. Oh! It really bugged me and distracted me, and I think I missed like a vital part of the show because people are late. I wish it said on the ticket, if you are late, you will not be permitted to enter, because it's so distracting. I try to think what it's like as a performer. It's so distracting just seeing people like have torches and standing up. It's just so impolite. Why? You're paying money to see a show. You might as well see the whole show. Don't sit and miss 15 minutes of it because you couldn't find the theatre or you just lost track of time. Like, come on now. Seriously, like I was just so annoyed. And the fact that they walked past me and then there was 3 of them and there was a very tall, like 6-foot man then decided to sit in the seat in front of me. I was like, oh, what? I was so enjoying the show. I was like, yes, it's gonna be a good show. There's no one in like 2 seats in front of me so I can see perfectly well. Nope, person who was late is 6 foot, what a surprise. Number 2, quite an obvious one, but mobile phones. You'd be surprised how many shows I've seen when people's mobiles have gone off. And I literally look at them in front of me in disgust. I'm like, how dare you not turn your phone off to watch a show? It's so distracting. And then obviously they had to get their phone up to put it on silent or turn it off, and then the screen was like really bright and the lady decided to put it like up, so everyone was like, what's going on? It's just like the theatre, and it's just, oh my goodness, like turn your phone off. I always put my phone on airplane mode because when I've done performances, I've had issues where people have called me and messaged me when it's on silent and it's actually affected my mic, that it goes a bit like, the frequency goes a bit funny. A bit like on an airplane where they ask you to take off? Well, you do take off, but when they ask you to turn your phones off or put them on airplane mode, not to put them on silent. And I just do that, but I think it's just from experience. I don't want to be the person whose phone to go off and for them to have funky mics going on in the performance. But it's just please turn off your phone. It's just so obvious. Even some shows at the beginning remind you, like they have like a phone ringing to remind you, and I always check anyway, even though I usually turn it on airplane mode, that I have actually turned it on airplane mode. I'm like, oh yeah, let me just quickly check, because yeah. Come on guys, come on. Number 3, going to the toilet in the middle of a show is so rude. And yeah, okay, if you're a child and you've got a weak bladder, but then some theatres don't have an aisle down the middle and you have to get up for people to use the toilet. I do get more annoyed if it's adults because I'm like, go to the toilet before the show and don't drink a lot before the show. I mean, I've got a weak bladder and I can sustain half an act not needing the toilet, and I think any adult can. But it's just, again, it's so disruptive because you've got to stand up and you've got to ask everyone in your row to move, and it must be distracting for the performers as well. Just try and hold it in and don't drink a lot. That's it, really. Number 4. Eating in the middle of a show. The worst culprit for this is crisps. The rustling of the crisp packet. Especially when it's someone next to you or nearby and you're like, why are you eating crisps? Can you not eat when there's an interval or before the show? Do you have to eat during the show? Like, I know Imelda Staunton actually asked for food and drink to be banned, I sort of agree and I sort of don't. I think some food, obviously you get ice cream in the interval, which is fine, it's nice and quiet, doesn't leave a mess. And I suppose drink isn't a bad thing, apart from when people gulp really loud or the spillage. But yeah, it's just noisy food, like crisp packet, like why? Just wait till the interview, guys, come on now. You don't have to eat a lot. Like, I guess sweets are a good one. If you open the packet before the show and then nibble, I have made that mistake and tried quietly, or when there's an applause, quickly like, open it. So I don't interrupt anyone, because I just find it so impolite. You're paying good money to see entertainment and talented performers on stage. Like, I don't want it to be ruined by a crisp packet. Number 5, singing along to the songs of the show is probably the most annoying thing ever. A bane of my life when someone sings songs for the show. I mean, the performers are on stage being paid. You're paying for them to entertain you, and they're casting this show for a reason. They are very talented. I want to hear them sing. I'm paying for them to sing. I'm not paying for my gran or my uncle to sing next to me, or it's usually someone else. It's not usually my family member, but I don't know why I mentioned my gran and uncle. But you get the drift. Like, they sing along, and the worst culprit for this was Mamma Mia. I also went to see Beautiful, and the same thing happened though, and I actually had to move seats because it drove me mad for the first act. I just wanted to like tell her and like, oh, come on, stop singing. The thing is, at the end of the show, a lot of jukebox musicals like Mamma Mia, Jersey Boys, and those sort of shows that everyone knows the songs because everyone knows ABBA and everyone knows Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Well, not everyone, but you know, a lot of people do. And they want to sing along. And at the end, some of them, like a lot of shows like that, encourage you to sing and have a little like boogie while you're in your chair or standing up. Like, they do encourage you, and they give you the opportunity at the end to join in, not in the middle of the show when they're trying to tell a story. And it's just so annoying. I feel like I'm ranting on about this, but this has annoyed me so much because I feel like I've grown up in the theatre, I am a performer, and I understand what it's like from both points of view, from the stage and from an audience member. And I would say probably the audience member is more annoying, because I'm actually paying money to see people perform, and I'm getting entertainment from various audience members because they can't not sing along. You cannot sing along, just enjoy the show. Why would you want to sing along to it? And that's all I want to say. I hope this hasn't been, I don't want to be rude or anything. I just want to enjoy the show and hope that everyone else enjoys the show as well. And I don't want anyone else to be annoyed, but I've just been to like 2 shows recently, but the same thing happens, and people need to know about it, and people need to understand what it's like to be an audience. Like, it's just so annoying. I can't describe it anymore. But it will never stop me from going to the theatre. I love the theatre, like it's my second home. I'll go by myself, I really don't care. Because I enjoy it so much, and I enjoy being entertained and being thoroughly amazed by the amount of talent that this country has to give, or not only this country, but the world has to give. There's so many talented performers, and it's a huge pleasure to watch people perform, and hopefully it'll be me one day. Like, I love it so much, like I do it as a living, and I mean, I see it from both points now, and being a performer, I guess, is even more distracting because you're trying to entertain them and you can hear like someone singing along and you're like, hey, that's my job, like I'm being paid for this, don't you start singing along. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this has enlightened people of what it's like to be in the theatre. If you haven't been to theatre, like, where have you been? Go and see a show. There's some great shows in the West End. Or Broadway if you live in America, or tours if you live anywhere else. And I shall see you all very soon.